We'll get started right away. Hey, Nick, Steve Keogh here. Welcome to the team.
Thank you, Steve.
Great to see you. Thanks for joining us this evening. We're live here, so we'll just go straight to questions. So please raise your hand and we'll proceed. So we'll start with Chris Johnson from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Nick. I'm just wondering if you can share with us, as much as you're comfortable, how the trade unfolded from your end of things. Were you involved in the talks Columbus were having, and what that experience was like?
Yeah, hi, Chris. Yeah, I mean, I think it was an emotional couple days. Obviously, I have the utmost respect for Jarmo and how he kind of brought this to my attention, and just talking about if there was something that made sense for the team, that he would try to keep me in the loop. And, that meant a lot to me, just in how much our relationship has obviously grown over these years, and, and trying to find the right fit and what made sense for the organization. I think ultimately it's always what comes down to what's best for the team. And, but he was, able to kind of fill me in on some things and see where I was headed. And, it just fell into place that it worked out to come to Toronto. And, it's been pretty exciting, pretty amazing day. Once you've kind of made the decision, and hard day, obviously, but, with all the emotion attached to Columbus. And, but once, now that it's kind of sunk in, and how excited I am to join this team and help in any way I can, that really gets me going, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
And if I can follow up, why does Toronto make sense for you, do you think?
Well, I just, in playing them last year, in the bubble, and just seeing the team, and how young they were, but also just how dangerous they were. And I felt like they were a team that learned a lot about themselves. And I just felt like it was a fit for me in the sense of just what I can bring and help. And, I know Jason Spezza, who's a guy that's, paid his dues and long time, looking for a cup, and just everything just felt right. Sometimes I'm a guy that plays off my gut, my heart. And, my heart was telling me this was the right move. So I went with it. And, I can tell even from when I said, that this is something I wanted to do, it just felt right. So I'm looking forward to that opportunity. And, obviously being around the guys, there's a little bit of a lull here, with the 7 days that's coming, but I'm really looking forward to just getting there and getting acquainted with everything, and then hitting the ground running and helping any way I can.
Great, thank you. We'll go to Josh Clipperton from the Canadian Press. Go ahead, Josh.
Hey, Nick. Congrats on the deal. You were 5 or 6 years old when your dad was part of that Leafs run to the conference final in '93. I'm just wondering what you remember about that, what you remember about the team and the city.
Yeah, I remember. I'm not a big fan of Kerry Fraser after that. Yeah, that was, I just remember the passion of the fans. And I remember how excited my dad was. And I remember, I think it was after beating St. Louis, we got to walk the streets home, and the parade atmosphere that the fans kind of gave. And, that just stuck with me since, to this day, how passionate Leaf fans are. I know it. I live in the summer in Sudbury, Ontario. It's split down the middle, 50-50, Habs fans, Leaf fans. And so I know what it's like, and the reach that the team has. And I'll never forget that run. I mean, it's something my dad talks about to this day, and it's kind of ingrained into that city, and people still talk about it to this day. So I'm looking forward to going on another one, being the next Foligno to do so, and joining a great team that has already, done a lot of work to get in a position to be talked about in that way. And I'm excited about joining and helping that team. And I also don't really believe in pressure. I think it's just an opportunity. So I'm excited about the opportunity that I have to join a team that has put themselves in a position to be talked about in that light, as a team that can do some damage in the playoffs. And there's still a long time from now till then, but I'm looking forward to joining that.
If I remember correctly, you did the famous Foligno jump when you scored your first NHL goal, but haven't really done it since. Do you think we'll see it when you get your first with the Leafs?
It's a Game 7 overtime. I'm sure I'll jump just out of pure joy. So I don't know if you'll see it again, but that was my dad's thing. That was something I wanted to do for him when we broke in the league. Both my brother and I did it. But I'm sure if I get excited enough, the jump will just come out naturally. It's ingrained in us Folignos. So we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
Thanks, Josh. We'll go to Lance Hornby from the Toronto Sun. Go ahead, Lance.
Hi, Nick. Again, welcome to Toronto. You talked a little bit about the last playoff series, meeting the Leafs. Have any of those guys reached out to you? And what has either Kyle Dubas or Sheldon Keefe been talking to you about since you came aboard?
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. You get, reached out by a lot of the players already. Both Kyle and Sheldon have reached out, and it's just preliminary stuff. Obviously, just welcome the team, and they're excited that I'm on board, and just trying to get to know each other in a weird time. But I think they're just excited about the opportunity to get to work, and that's all we're trying to do. You can tell how focused that group is on trying to win and task at hand. So I'm looking forward to joining that. I think it lines up mentally with where I'm at and what I feel is necessary to win hockey games. And so I'm looking forward to joining a team that feels that way and has that same mindset that I've had for so long here in Columbus as well. And I'm looking forward to getting to work with these guys. I've obviously respected them from afar. Know Jason Spezza pretty well. Obviously know John Tavares a little bit. Played with Austin Matthews with the U.S. team. Obviously Joe Thornton is a legend and somebody I've respected from afar. So there's a lot of pieces in that group that I'm looking forward to get to know, to help push and learn from, and then get this thing going in the direction that we all expect it to go.
A quick follow. You wear number 71, I guess. And what's the plan to bring the family up? Is it going to be really quick and get this quarantine going as soon as you can?
Yeah, I look forward to having another 71 flying around out there. So it'll be kind of fun to wear that number that my dad wore. And the plan right now, I think for my family is probably that they're going to stay here. Just with, and no offense, everything going on in Ontario, it's probably hard to bring 3 kids in the mix with not much to be able to do. So they're going to stay here. We've had that conversation as a family, and it's probably the hardest part of this for me is just not being able to have them there. But maybe there's a time later on where they can join, and but they also understand Daddy's going there to do a job, and so that's my promise to them. I'm going to go and do my best I can, and try and help them and bring a cup home. So that's probably like I said, the hardest part of this is the human side that. I'm not going to be around my family as much as I'd like, and they've been my rock. But I'm fortunate to have a wife who's the rock in our family, and is going to be able to take care of them here, so I can go do my job.
Great, thank you. We'll go to Mark Masters from TSN. Go ahead, Mark.
Nick, what sort of role do you see for yourself with the Leafs, and how do you think you can help push this group over the hump?
Yeah, I mean, that's still got to be figured out, I'm sure. And you can make all these speculations, but until I get there and get with the group and get, acquainted with everybody, I'm sure it'll just kind of figure itself out. I mean, the biggest thing that I'm going to do is just be myself. I think I'm older now where maybe a years previous you go and you get traded and you try to do too much, or, that's going to be something I focus on. Obviously there's just the excitement already around it, but I know what I bring, and that's the reason why the team brought me in. So I'm looking to just do that, and then, and try to help where I can with the leadership side. Obviously it's something I'm comfortable with, and there's a lot of great leaders in that room already. So I'm there to pull on the rope the same way as all those guys are. And I think that's the way they trust you. And you come in and just, work away at it. And that's my mentality anyway. I'll just work as extremely hard as possible and try and pull the guys along and help any way that I need to be. And this is an opportunity for me, guys. I mean, let's be honest. It's been a tough year here in Columbus, and I take a lot of that responsibility. So this is an opportunity that I get that I'm not going to waste, for those guys in that locker room that are still here, that are grinding away. I take it pretty serious that I get a chance to go and continue playing here and have an opportunity. And that means a lot to me. So I'm not going to waste it and make sure I just do whatever I can to help this team.
When you look at the Leafs roster and what they've accomplished this season, what stands out the most?
Well, I just think their maturity, you can just see their attention to detail and how, they've obviously got just such great firepower up front, but even the games they do win, they just seem to hunker down or find ways to win games. And I think that's always, though I said, is the sign of good teams in this league, is you find a way to win. And they just seem to do that. They just seem to if it's got to be a defensive effort, they seem to be putting in the work in that regard. They got to score more goals. They have the ability to do that. And they've obviously gotten great goaltending of late. So, they just have a mix of being able to win a lot of different ways. And that's a dangerous thing. If you can get confident in doing that come playoff time, when it tightens up and you have that confidence of being able to win different ways, it really bodes well in the playoffs.
Thanks, Mark. We'll go to Luke Fox from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Luke.
Hi, Nick. At what point did you realize that maybe your days as a Blue Jacket might be coming to an end?
You know what? It never really hit me till honestly, Yarmo and I had the conversation probably yesterday, just about, the reality of the situation. I think just as the captain here and as a guy that just never really says it's over till it's over, I just never really wanted to think about that because, you can go down that road a million different ways. And if something doesn't happen, I need to make sure I was doing what I needed to do to help our team. So really it was kind of yesterday when the reality of the situation, I think seeing my teammate David Savard get traded, you can kind of see the direction that we were headed, unfortunately, here in Columbus. And I really appreciate Yarmo allowing me the opportunity to go and chase my dream of winning a cup with a team that I feel has a great opportunity of doing that. So I have a ton of respect for him and just the whole process that we went through. And, so that's something I'll never forget. And now I just want to make sure I make good on the opportunity that I've been given. So it's, like I said, it's been bittersweet. It's, but I am ecstatic about the opportunity that I have here. And, I feel really good about the decision we made.
Did you have a conversation with Torts, and can you give us a sense of how that went?
Yeah, he's happy for me. I think Torts and I have such a great relationship. We have so much respect for one another, and I've learned so much from him. He's been one of my best favorite coaches to date. And just a guy that's pushed me to be better at all facets of my game. Even certain areas he just continues to push, and I appreciate that. I think that's what you want as a player, as an athlete, is to continue to be pushed in ways that allow you to reach goals that you didn't think were possible. So I just have a ton of respect for him, and I think he was happy for me that I got this opportunity. We've gone through a lot here in Columbus. We've grown this thing to a point where we had a great little run, and we're trying to continue that against, when we beat Tampa and ran into a really good team in Boston and realized that was the next step we needed to take, and, had a lot go on after that, but found a way to kind of dig in and get into the playoffs last year. And so we just felt like we were on the way, and unfortunately just things didn't quite fall into place this year. And we had a lot of turbulence, but he's been a guy that's really helped kind of steer the ship here. And so I have a ton of respect for him. We had a great conversation about just going out and making the most of this one.
Thanks, Luke. We'll go to Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Hedge.
How much did you enjoy being the captain here for 6 years?
Oh, God. I don't think I could put that into words. I mean, it's hard to probably, I was even thinking about that question. It's just, I think it's just too emotional right now. It's hard to kind of think about it already. It's too fresh. But listen, I know how fortunate I was to be a captain of first of all, a great group of guys. The core group that I think of is Boone and Cam and Jonesy, and, Z was coming on, and you got Oliver Bjorkstrand now, and Gus Nyquist, and, the list kind of goes on as you keep going through here of the guys that I got to play with and lead. And man, it's just fortunate to be in a room with guys like that. And then also the fan base. I think Columbus is an underrated city and doesn't get its due, and how avid hockey fans they are and how much they care about this team. And I felt that every time I stepped on the ice, and I tried to reciprocate that and make them know that, I cared about being their captain. I cared about how they felt about their organization. So, the pride that I felt to be a captain of this team is something I'll remember forever. And I hope people felt that as well.
Are you, a number of you guys have been traded, obviously, in this deadline, but what you just mentioned there, do you feel like you guys set up kind of a culture or something that can last here for a while?
I hope so. I think that's part of your job as one of the leaders, is to try to leave it in the hands of guys that now have learned from you and can make it better as well. So if I've done my job, or if we've done our job as a core group, then the next wave is going to do the same thing and be able to pick up right where maybe myself or whoever's left off. And so, like I said, it's hard for me to start thinking about all that stuff right now, but I know that there's a lot of great players that care in that locker room. And for whatever reason, there's a lot of reasons it didn't go our way this year. But I know that group is proud and is going to play hard to the end. And, there's a lot of guys in there with tons of character and tons of leadership abilities. And that's why I was so fortunate to come to the rink every day in Columbus.
Great, thank you. We'll do two more reporters. So we'll go Clay Hall first and then Josh Cloak. Clay Hall from ABC Fox affiliate.
Hey, Nick, happy for you, man, to get this shot. I know you're
Thanks, Clay.
excited as well. Jarmo Kekalainen said your impact on Columbus was, quote, immeasurable. What's Columbus's impact on you on and off the ice?
These questions are tough. I think they just, I think Columbus and I grew together. When I got here, we were a team that didn't have a ton of respect. And I think that was something that I wanted to be able to bring. And in return, they lifted you up, and I think that's something I'll forever be grateful to Columbus for. The way they supported our team as we got going here is just incredible. We got to almost share every new experience together. For us, winning our first round, I got to share that. That was the first time our fan base got to experience that. The people of Columbus and just the pride they have of our team. So I think, that's what I take away from Columbus is what they've given me is an understanding of how important it is to connect with your fan base and the community that you live in. And there's just so many good people here outside of hockey in the organization itself. And that probably stems from the McConnell family that owns it, just the way they are as people and how much they give him back. And I am just, Columbus has a place in my heart forever and ever. And that's how our family feels. And, so it's another one of those that I'm probably going to take a little more time to have to really reflect on, but
Right.
It's a place that everyone knows is near and dear to my heart.
Does the playoff goal against the Penguins when nationwide the roof came off April 23rd, 2014, does that still resonate for you?
Absolutely. I mean, that's just like I said, that was the moment we got to share. That was the first franchise playoff win at home, so not even about me scoring, just being able to share that with the fans and how loud the building was. And, those are all the things I remember more than anything. And just celebrating with my teammates, how happy we were. A team that no one really expected much out of was, now neck and neck with the Pittsburgh Penguins going back to Pittsburgh, series tied 2-2. So it was like the start of what we were trying to become here. So that's what I remember and cherish every day.
Nick, just wanted to thank you for the hundreds of interviews you did over the years, some of which you probably didn't want to do, but you were an incredible captain. So congrats.
Appreciate it. All the Columbus media, you guys were outstanding to work with. So I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you.
You got it.
Thanks, Clay. We'll go to Josh Cloak from The Athletic.
Hey, Nick, you kind of touched on this, but just thinking back to that series against Toronto last year, you mentioned that you thought the team learned a lot about themselves. What specifically did you see in that series that led you to believe this team was close?
Yeah, I mean, I think, us having a recipe against a team like Tampa the year before and coming in and trying to just play that same style where, a lot of times in playoffs, the goal scoring, if you're lucky, it goes up, it goes down. And it just, you end up relying on all the fundamentals of the defense that really allows you to succeed. And I thought for us in that series, we just tooth and nailed it against a team that we knew we needed to have great goaltending against, and we got, and had to have great defense. And, I'm sure Toronto, there's a lot of opportunities that they probably could have scored and made the series a little different. But we found a way to win that series. And I think, by playing them and seeing how disappointed they were. And I just sensed, watching them lately, you could just see a different focus in their group, and how they are going about themselves and the additions they brought in, some veteran guys. And, I just feel like they're a team that's understood who they are and how they have to have success to win. And I'm excited to bring, what I know to that and hopefully help push the needle even further. But they're already a great team. So I'm really thrilled about the opportunity I have to join a team like that and just help any way I can, like I said. And I just think that their understanding of who they are now, which is a scary thing when you have the firepower that they have, that they're going to have that mindset that they're going to need to have to be, as successful as we expect to be.
And has your dad given you any advice about playing in Toronto yet?
Yeah, he was pretty excited. I got to admit, it was nice to have that phone call with him and tell him there's going to be another 71 flying around the ice. I won't be wearing that helmet though, so sorry to anyone that's wondering if I was going to wear that helmet. But yeah, it was just his advice is enjoy it, and play with passion. The fans of Toronto are passionate, and I think that lines up with who I am and how I play, and I think it'll just come out that way. And I'm going to enjoy every minute of it, and this is something I got to witness as a young kid, and now to have that opportunity kind of come full circle and be able to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's a dream come true in a lot of ways, but I know how big of an opportunity it is that I want to make sure I leave that team that I'm playing for, especially the players in that room, but also the fan base, proud of what we're trying to accomplish here and be a part of that.
Thanks, Josh. Actually, we're going to do one more, Nick. We're going to go with Bill Rabinowitz from Columbus Dispatch. Go ahead, Bill.
Hi, Nick. You're obviously going to be a free agent this summer. How open would you be to returning to the Blue Jackets?
Yeah, that's always open. I mean, that's something that, that with no kind of guarantee of what's going to happen in the summer, that's an option that's on the table. And obviously it's no secret. So, but for me right now and where I'm at, I'm full steam ahead with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that's my focus and that's what they deserve. And I'm excited about this opportunity. So I'm thrilled to get going with these guys and see what we can do and how I can help and hopefully it's all good things.
And if I could ask a follow-up, obviously it was a disappointing year with Columbus. Can you put your finger on what happened and how close you think they are to getting back on track?
Yeah, I mean, that's the hard part with this season is there's so many little things that kind of go on. And for me to talk about it now, I mean, I think I need more time to really dissect everything because it's still fresh and there's still a lot of things that, that I'm still emotionally attached to. So, but I will say the pieces are there. I mean, you got a Seth Jones, a Cam Atkinson, a Boone Jenner, who's unfortunately hurt, but Gus Nyquist. I mean, Oliver Borkstrand, who's going to take on a bigger role. And the goaltending that we have, Zach Werenski. I mean, there's a lot of big names in that room. So I think that's what's disappointing too, is that there's a lot of good players and we just couldn't find a way to get that mix and put it all together this year. And for whatever reason, I mean, I guess I'll say if we knew, we would have fixed it. So it's going to take some time to I'm sure dissect that. But for me, I got to be honest. My mindset shifts now to what I can do to help Toronto. And that's just the way this business works, and that's all I'm focused on. And until the off season, until I really have those conversations, I am so committed to what I can do for this group, and that's how I am. I'm jumping in with 2 feet, and whatever I can do to help the Toronto Maple Leafs right now is all that I'm focused on. And and I'm really thankful for that opportunity.